All right, we'll look to make a start now. So first things first, my name's Nathan Gear. I'm the basketball development manager here at McKinnon. If you don't know who I am, Peter Cottereid is going to be monitoring the chat and contributing throughout the session. But I want to thank you all for joining on a Wednesday. We are very excited to be able to put some of these programs out. We've been holding back a little bit. Over the last 12 months, we've been pairing these. We were ready to go right before lockdown kind of hit, and we've been able to fine tune some things. And as things start coming forward, we're excited to be able to present them to you, be able to provide more opportunities for the athletes in our program, and really try and structure some of that development. A couple of housekeeping things, just so everyone knows: keep your cameras off, stay on mute throughout the session. If you have any questions throughout, you throw them in the chat. As soon as you think of it, put it in the chat. At the end of both presentations, we'll go through any questions. You're welcome to hang around and get through that, have some time to go through it. But otherwise, this will be recorded and this will be available within the next 24 hours afterwards as well, if you have any questions, as well as both ADP and the HPP program documents available for you to register your interest and find out more. So we'll start with the ADP program. So I'll bring up the presentation, and then we'll get going from there. All right, so this is the Accelerated Development Program. So this is the first of the two programs. This is aimed at under 12s and under 14 athletes. And this is a term-by-term program for skill development for McKinnon Cougars athletes only. It has two components. So we have two different sessions available. We have a skill development session where the focus is on the individual offensive ability, including finishing, shooting, ball handling, decision-making, creativity. The idea is we want to start developing confidence within these athletes. So there are regular under 12s, under 14s rep sessions. This is kind of an add-on to that as a separate program for them to kind of get some structured development and a different environment within that. And then we have our shooting development session, which is focused on shooting development, primarily just with shooting form, consistency, and range. One of the key skills that's identified from numerous coaches as they go through programs and they go through further pathways is shooting is widely considered the master skill, and it's often the thing that still doesn't get enough time to practice. It is very much a skill that needs deliberate repetitions and needs time to be able to build and be able to build confidence with shooting. So that's why we've put that in as an early phase program for us. We have different session times available. They all run for an hour. When you go in to register interest or you start sharing some of that, you kind of pick your session and you can kind of work from there. We try and make it fit whatever schedule you kind of need. So we'll have a wide range of sessions. We're trying to cap the number of kids in each session. So if a session gets full, we'll ask you to go into another one and work from that. If there is a situation where we find we've got a lot of under 12s and a lot of under 14s, we'll start separating by age as much as possible and by, I guess, ability and where their needs are right now. The pricing model for this is one session is $20, so $160 for the term. And then for both sessions, it's $30 a week, which is $240 for the term. So that's the overview for that. If you want to register your interest, you go through the link below and you'll be able to find out more. So I'll touch a little bit on, as I start setting up the HPP one, we start moving towards that, why these programs came about. So we wanted to really start structuring we started looking at the pathway for our athlete, and we looked at when an under 10 a 10-year-old or 11-year-old joins our program. They often have the same expectation when they're 17, 18, 19, but are trying to achieve very different things. So what we've done is tried to put side programs to be able to assist the VJBL McKinnon Cougar athlete through whatever goals and targets they have with that. As part of that, we've created our high performance program, which is aimed for under 16s and under 18 and under 21 athletes looking to take their basketball further. This is a really exciting project that we've kind of designed to tap into not only individual development, but help as many athletes achieve their goals through this. The reason we've made it 16s, 18s, 21s is it starts to become the age of specialization, and it's where kids start and young adults start needing to spend more time developing, and particularly on certain things. So we've created this year-round program, which runs as 4 11-week blocks, which comprises of skill development, shooting development, S&C, and goal setting. Basically, if an athlete makes it through tryouts and gets selected in the team, they automatically become eligible for this program. So it's a little different to our previous SPP program, where we're trying to be as inclusive as possible, and everything's individually catered. So we can try and get the best athletes developing down the track. We do have a long-term focus with everything we do, and the idea of 16s, 18s, and 21s doing this is that exact reason. It also includes any athlete that gets selected from Basketball Victoria's SDP and Talent ID program. So if you're an under 14 athlete in that bubble, you have eligibility for this. Athletes must record an average of 2 sessions per week across each block, or risk being suspended from the program. The idea is we want commitment. We want them to be able to see the benefits from the program. If they're constantly jumping in and out, they're not going to get the same benefits without that consistency. And then athletes participating in the HPP program can apply for an exemption from domestic, depending on their training load. So one thing we are taking into consideration as we start preparing individual plans is how much they are doing. We really want to make sure we're fostering the right amount of development so they can go further with their next steps. So this is a little bit about the overview, so the areas of performance as we go. We have our skill development session, so 1 skill development session a week, similar to the ADP, where it's focused on them as an individual and improving their overall play. We have a focused shooting development session where the athletes, again, try and get reps up, focus on the little things they need to develop their shots for the long term. They have an S&C session every week with Core Advantage. We're excited to be able to bring that and particularly track some of that stuff. It's extremely important as the athletes start to specialize down the track that they are looking after their body, they're doing the right things for injury prevention, start building some strength and power and start going through those. And we have some goal setting workshops that we do at the start of every phase, so we can keep them on track and start working with them to achieve what they want to achieve. Sorry about that. So a little bit about Core Advantage. I'll let Pete take over for this. We can kind of touch on some of this.
Hi everyone. So again, like Nathan's saying, is we are super excited to bring you this program. It's one of probably the first, if not the first program that incorporates all the above and is partnered with a professional strength and conditioning company like Core Advantage to deliver it. So Core Advantage, their gym is located just in Oakley South, just near Clarinda. And essentially they have a state-of-the-art facility. You're not going to find a better facility anywhere else in Melbourne. They've got the highest quality equipment and some of the best coaches going around. And they currently work with the organizations such as the Boomers. They do things with Nutter Wadding. They've got a Forest Hill Basketball Academy. The head coach, Durham, there, he's worked with the Australian Opals as well, so the Australian Opals team. And some athletes that come through the doors all the time, you see regularly in there training at the same time as the kids, is Liz Cambridge, Beck Allen, Maddie Garrick, all of these amazing athletes, Dane Pinot. And so it's just an amazing environment for our McKinnon Cougars athletes to be able to be exposed to and train it. So we're really, really excited with them, bringing them on board. Back to you, Nathan.
Awesome. I'll give you all a quick little example of the high performance week schedule. The idea is they're still monitoring the amount of training load. We understand that there is a school commitment. We understand there still is other sporting commitments if you're a dual sport athlete. So we do want to balance the amount of time, particularly the amount of hours that go into these athletes and kids, particularly as they are developing. So we will work personally with them. So as part of all of this, we start working together in terms of designing this plan. You'll have a consultation with myself as with both your child and with your family, and we can kind of go through the stuff that fits. Ideally, we want 2 rest days. In some of the examples where we have 6 working days, there might be a lighter day where it might just be a shooting session for an hour with fine tuning some of that, and we can start finding that balance. We have a wide range of sessions available, including some morning sessions. So they're all important to note because we're trying to make this as individualized as possible so that it fits the child's schedule with all of that. A little bit about the pricing model. So as some of you would have been aware, these are different times, and we're trying to make this the most cost-effective program we possibly can. So for this, we've managed to get it down to $35 a week or $385 for the block. When you consider that a usual high performance program could cost anywhere between $115 per week, I've seen some up to $150. And this all includes an S&C, this includes your shooting, this includes your skill development. On top of that, we have holiday stuff that will be included in this, as well as potential for an AAU exposure tour to assist with gaining exposure to college programs, if that's an avenue they want to go down as well as connections to different avenues to start promoting to colleges as well. So all of that kind of comes encompassed with this as well. We have the option to be able to split the into 4 installments or pay the thing up front at the beginning of each block. If you're interested, or your child might be interested, you register your interest at the website and you'll be able to find out more information there. That's it from the presentation point of view. I'll put it to the chat now. So if you don't have any questions and you're happy to leave, you can jump out now. Otherwise, throw some questions in the chat. I'll answer as many of them as possible. Otherwise, feel free to reach out to me. My email is programs@mckinnonbasketball.org, as I'm sure you would have been aware. So we'll go from that. For the players who already hold. So if you currently hold a membership at Core Advantage already, so if your child already attends there, you can move on to this program. So you can kind of change it. If there's a need for a second session a week for your child and you want to negotiate that with Core Advantage, you can do that, but that's a separate thing. So if you're already attending Core and you want to move to this, or you want to, I'd recommend moving to this, would be my first thought there. If there's any other questions, throw them in the chat. Otherwise, thank you for joining. Look forward to be able to hopefully see you all in a stadium or outside a stadium soon enough.
Just following on from Nathan's there, it's just so everyone knows, a standard one session, a standard membership to Core Advantage is about $70 to $75 a week. And so by moving to the high performance program, not only are they getting shooting and skill development, but you're still getting your one session at Core per week. It might not be at the exact perfect time that you were at previously, but you are getting a huge saving, and that's why we're really, really proud to be able to bring this price point for our members.
Yeah. All of this information will be made available in the next 24 hours, as well as the booklet, any information that came from this evening. So if you're unsure, a little bit like, oh, we went through it too quick, you can always catch up with that. Otherwise, you can shoot me an email, give me a call. We can kind of go from there.